good? What's good? What's good? What's the goings ons? What's the goings on? What's going on? What's going on? How's everybody? How's everybody? Princess, I have to say one thing. I already said happy birthday to Riri, but Riri does a lot for this show. Riri does a tremendous a lot for the show. If it wasn't for Riri, probably wouldn't be able to do the show. And so I just want to give her props and thank her, thank her, thank her. All those that didn't say happy birthday to Riri, please throw a happy birthday in there. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Princess, love you, love you. China Black, what's up? Peace, love you, love you. Everybody's there. JG11, hey, I just saw you over there on Dwan B's show. Yes, for those that didn't know, Dwan B called me and asked me to be on the show, and it was pretty good show. We hit some topics. We did hit some topics. So if you guys get a chance, go back over there and look at the replay. It was live. It was definitely live. There's a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on this week. And so I just want to hit a couple of topics today. One of the things, hey, listen, is my mic sounding good? I changed mics again today. So let me know how my mic sounds. If my mic sounds nice, check one. My mic sounds nice, check two. Okay. Yeah. See, peace, bro. Happy birthday, sis. See, I love that. Yes, that's what we're supposed to do. Princess says she was there. Okay. She was there. China Black was there as well. Okay. JG, I don't know if you was there. But if you was there, throw a thumbs up at the Dwan B podcast. It was pretty interesting. It was pretty interesting. I got a chance to say a couple of things that I always, was going to mention that I might have or might not have mentioned on my show. But we got to get Dwan B over here, and there's a couple of people that we have to get on show. Basically, and I say this before, I come on and then I go off and I don't come on. And it's, Dwan B said something today that really made me understand that. He made me understand that, without subscribers and, the following or whatever, that wrong information is out there, and wrong information will continue to be out there, and so if someone doesn't come and give the clear and truthful information, then that's all that is out there is the wrong information. So I want to clear that up. So one of the things that I've said on my show is that, I'm not monetized. I'm not. And so if you want to continue to get the wrong information, and I won't say the right information, then that's what you're going to get, But if you want the right information, let's support each other. Let's support each other. Let's make sure that we can keep it going. That's all I can say is like, let's keep it going. A lot of times, a lot of people go to the party for free. And they dance and everything, or the barbecue. You know how many times people go to the barbecue, eat up all your food, and just leave? Don't want to clean up or nothing. They just leave. That's how I feel sometimes. I feel like you get all this good information, and nobody even says, okay, hey, hair phase, here's a couple of ones and twos, go do something over there, help make the show a little bit better. So that's why I disappeared for a while. That's why I disappeared. So by now, everybody's heard about Africa Bambaataa. and he came to his demise. And I got, well, I'm not even going to say mixed feelings. I'm not going to say my feelings right now. But one thing that I can say, one thing that I can say is there's so many misconceptions about what Bam did for hip hop. There's a lot of misconceptions. Some people say that he created hip hop. Some people say that he said the word, he gave the elements. There's a lot of misconceptions about it. So we're not gonna clear it up right now. I don't have enough time to clear it up. But I will say this, you know, everybody has a breaking point. Everybody has a breaking point. And it's what you do with your breaking point that matters. That really matters what you do. And legacies are for the future generations. So someone asked me, well, what do I want my legacy to be? I want my legacy to be that I taught the next generation to stand on truth. Stand on truth and don't take substitutions. In other words, one thing that I could say about us, and when I say us, you know who I'm talking about. One thing I could say about us is that we're too willing to just, accept things. We're too willing to take substitutes instead of having the real thing. I always wanted the real thing. From it comes to music, if it comes to dressing, food, anything. I always wanted the real thing. Information is the real thing. But we have been so water washed or however you want to dilute it that we just take anything. We take whatever they give us. Whatever they give us. I'm not going to get on the subject too much on black, being called black. I'm not going to get on it too much. But I asked something the other day, and I realized how we have been brainwashed for generations. We've been brainwashed to accept, to just accept whatever we're given. We just accept it. And even though, it's a touchy subject, it's a very touchy subject, I just like sometimes to just explain and maybe give a chance to the next generation to let them choose what they're going to accept. So what I said the other day was this: if you have, I'm gonna just say yellow person, right? And you ask that yellow person, are you black? And if the yellow person says, yes, I'm black, then you would say, no, you're not. No, you're not. So if you ask a woman if they're a woman, And the woman replies by saying, I'm a man. You're going to say, no, you're not. That's the answer that you're going to give is no, you're not. You're a woman. You're not a man. So then, you know already what I say about I don't call people white and I don't call people black. So if you have a pink person and you ask them, are you pink? And the person says, no, I'm black. Then you'll be mad and say, you're not black, you're pink, and you'll be mad. You will be so mad at that. You would be so mad that they said that they were black. You would be so mad. But then, if someone asks you if you're black, you'll say, yes, I'm black. If they ask another question and they say, well, what color are you? What color are you? If they go a little bit deeper and they say, what color are you? And you say black, what would they say? They would say, no, you're not. You're brown. That's what they would say. And so we have been trained to say, yes, we're black, when we're brown, when we're light brown, when we're dark brown. So that's what I was saying, Mark Flanagan, 9187, that you can't be wrong and right at the same time. You can't be wrong and right at the same time. So a lot of us, because that's what we were brought to know, that black is more of a spirit, as you say, than the actual color of your skin, that we accept it. We accept it. So that's why I say, you know, now let me bring it to hip hop. Let's bring it to hip hop. So a lot of us were taught that Herc, Bambaataa, Flash are the creators of hip hop. They're the fathers of hip hop. They're the creators of hip hop. But when you go back and you look at it and you ask the question, well, what did Herc create to make hip hop? What did Bambaataa do to create hip hop? What did Flash do to create hip hop? I'll go a little bit further, because you know it's not just those four. Those three. Those three. So let's go with the obvious elephant in the room: Puerto Ricans. Then you ask that same question. You say, what did Puerto Ricans as a whole bring to create hip hop? And each one of those questions, no matter that the answer is nothing, we always want to keep it as they created hip hop. They're the fathers of hip hop. They were with us, and they were with us when we created hip hop. And that's this. That's just it. That's you know, that's it. So I guess, you know, I wasn't going to do it, but I'll put it up here. I'll put it up here. Okay. And Mark Flanagan says, they all added something to it. Okay, so let's say what that it is. All right? So the inventor of a car, right? You can say the same thing, I guess, because every day from the time that it was created till now, things are added to the car. Things are added. Wi-Fi is now a part of the car. When the person created the car, they didn't have Wi-Fi in the mix. They didn't. When they did it, they didn't have cassette in the mix. They didn't have 8-track. They didn't have CD, USB. They didn't have that. But since it's got added on, we can say the same thing. Everybody added a little bit onto it. So, taking that theory right there, what did they add to the creation? That's the question. What did they add to the creation? Because we know that the creation was the DJ with the music, the MC with the talking over the mic, over the music, and the dancing. That was the part of the creation. So, what part of the music did they add? What part of it? What part of the music did they add? Did the Puerto Ricans add? The Jamaicans? What part did they add for the music part of it? Okay. So let's go one better. Let's go to the MC, to the MCing, right? What part of the MCing did they add? And this can even go to Herc, Flash, Bambaataa. Because we're talking about they all added something. This is what, and this is the main concept of people that say they all added something. But they can't quite say what was added. I think, and I think just like the part about the car, I think, and this is my opinion, that because no one else can add something to the creation, that we're supposed to say everybody added. I think that's what it is. I think that's where we're going with this. I think that that's what it is. And so when they find out that they really didn't add anything, they didn't create anything, they didn't bring anything to the creation, that's where it becomes kumbaya. So let's start with Herc. They say that Herc brought the sound system from Jamaica to the States, the sound system. So that's a part of his creation. Those people that say that, what sound system did he bring? What was the sound system that he brought? What speakers, what amps, what equalizers? What sound system did he brought? See, because the sound system, main part of a sound system is the sound. And you get that from the speakers. You get the sound comes out of the speakers. And whatever power is pushing those speakers. So may it be 8-track tape, record, cassette tape, reel to reel, harmonica, band, guitar, bass guitar, drum, microphone. The system, the sound system, is basically the speakers. So everybody that says that he brought this speakers, this sound system from Jamaica, tell us what this sound system is. See, I know exactly what the sound system is. I know. Can't tell me I don't know. I know every piece. But I would never say that. I would never say that. I would never say that he brought the sound system from Jamaica to us, because I have been already seen major sound systems. Just Yankee Stadium alone has sound systems. We had sound systems. I talked about the Gauss speaker, 15-inch speaker. Even DJs didn't know what I was talking about. Sound masters. So okay, let's talk about Bambaataa. Talk about Bambaataa. So He's a DJ, just like Herc, just like Herc. And from my recollection, from my recollection, Jazzy J was the cut and scratcher. Jazzy J was doing the scratch. Jazzy J, when you looked at the party in a whole, Jazzy J was the showman, from what I remember. I don't know if you guys was that a different party. You was at a different party, but that's what I remember. I never saw Bambaataa cutting and scratching. Never. I never saw Herc cutting and scratching. Never. Never. I seen Flash after coming and seeing us and seeing Mean Gene and seeing, Little Theodore when he was, young. I seen that. But I didn't see him in 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. I didn't. And so that's Flash. Till this day, I never heard Bambaataa mixing or cutting or blending or anything. I just remember him putting on obscure records that a lot of people didn't hear. No matter if the record was funky or not, it was just something that you didn't hear. And so a lot of times, there was some weirdo records, but because we didn't hear that before, it was new to us. Talk about Bam right now. With Herc, all the records, every last one of the records, we heard and had and everything. Every last one. There might have been some Jamaican records that we never heard, but we didn't want to hear them. We couldn't break dance to them, so we didn't want to hear them. So that's where I say you can't be wrong and right at the same time. You can't be right and wrong at the same time. Is it right to say that no, there was, what did they bring to the creation? We're talking about the creation here. This is where all the things start to crumble up when we talk about the creation. But just like the Flanagan guy, the Mark Flanagan says, he says they all added something. So you're right and wrong at the same time. Yeah, they added something after it was created. They added Bluetooth to the car after it was created. CD, cassette, 8-track after it was created. So, let's talk about the Puerto Ricans. Because, see, and I wouldn't talk about it if that wasn't a part of the subject. See, for years after Beat Street and Wild Style, that's just like some people saying that the Sugar Hill Gang created hip hop. They came out with the early records, Rapper's Delight. It was an early record. Did they create hip hop? No. But that's the wrong and right syndrome, I'm going to call it. Because, see, when I was just on Dwan B's podcast and we were talking about the music, putting it together, I have never, ever heard a Spanish song or Jamaican song in the creation of hip hop. I've never, until this day. The tempos are different. See, we have a soul about us. And if you are a musician, it's like Riri. Riri's a musician. A lot of you guys don't know that. A lot of y'all people don't know that. But she understands the soul of music. And the soul of music has a tempo and it has timing. So what in Spanish music was the tempo or soul or the timing that created hip hop? There is none. But we have people like Mark Flanagan that says they all added, everybody added to the creation of hip hop. And so now, generations down the line are going to say, oh yeah, hip hop was, they'll say, you know, I don't say it, but they'll say black, Puerto Rican, Chinese, white, Jamaican. That's what it'll be said for generations to come. So the person, me, that says, well, why are we going to teach our kids something wrong? And see, that's why I was trying to, you know, put it together and show on two different spectrums of how it is. Like, because we look at ourselves, we look in the mirror, we look at our skin, and we'll say, we're black. We'll look at their skin and say, they're white. What is the reasoning for that? What is the reasoning? Why are there definitions? And why are there definitions if they're not going to be used. So when I bring up facts, because it's a fact that my skin color is brown. That's a fact. But because I bring up that, yeah, why are you talking about that? What does that have to do with hip hop? Oh, everybody's the same. It's just that's what it is. Black is the beginning of this, and black is that, and everything comes from black. All that might be true. But if I was the color black, then I would say I'm that color black. But I'm not. So I'm supposed to lie and say I'm black. I'm supposed to lie. I'm just supposed to flat out lie and say, no, I'm black. And then I'm supposed to look at a pink person that is pink. Some people call them see-through. When you see their blood, it looks red. So it makes see-through and red and pink. But we're supposed to say, no, they're not pink, they're white. So what does that have to do with hip hop? It's the same thing. We know that they're not the creators of hip hop, but because someone tells you to say that, you're wrong and right at the same time. How does that work? And then somebody like me come along and say, yeah, hold on, can we deal with just the facts here? They all added something on to it. That's what I'll get. That's the answer that I'll get. And so let's go with the biggest, how can I put it? Um, I guess it's just a lie. Bambaataa stopped all the gangs and changed the Black Spades to Zulu Nation. So at that point, there should be no more Black Spades. Black Spades would have changed from Black Spades to Zulu Nation. That's what it would have been. It would have been that there were no longer the Black Spades. We changed the name of the Black Spades to the Zulu Nation. And because a couple of people say that, and they tell a couple of people, and then the next thing you know, you're cool if you say the lie. You're cool. So how does those remaining Black Spades should feel? How should we feel? Knowing that what we created is now changed into something else. Mario, I remember Mario was like, I'm a spade for life. The most he did, and people don't get it, don't understand, that when we were called crews, we were Chuck City. That didn't mean we wasn't black spades. Didn't mean that at all. But we were Chuck City. And I'm smiling right now because a lot of people don't even know where Chuck City came from and why it was even Chuck City. You gotta we gotta read my book for you to know. But I know exactly when, where, and how. Okay, and that's why I'm smiling so much, because every time I think about it, and I'll be like, "Oh, these historians and everything, they know so much, but they don't know. They don't know. They don't know when Mario see me in the carriage room, what that made, what that did." Me playing the drums. They don't know. But you see, this is what happens. So, one of the things that I want to clarify is that a lot of these stories and these tales and these lies are connected to money. A lot of these lies and these fairy tales are connected to money. That changes a lot. So we just watched this all unravel about the money. And we watch how many people have did little something strange for a little change. We've witnessed that. And so now, like I said, we're seeing these things come to play, and it hurts some people. It hurts them. It really does. It hurts them because they don't understand the difference, and some of them do understand, but they won't say it. They don't understand the difference of creation and add-on. If Mark Flanagan understood the difference between creation and add-on, he never would have made that comment. Never. Because one thing is definitely clear, and this is straight up. I've always said this. No, if you smoke weed and there's someone that never smoked weed, they can't tell you how you feel when you smoke that weed. They can't tell you. They never felt that feeling before. So how can they tell you? Those people that say Disco King, the reason why Disco King has it in his name is because he played disco music, never heard Mario play one record, not one. So that's why they're able to say the comments that they say. And when I say able, because freedom of speech. You could be wrong, but that's it. So you're going to be wrong, but say you're right. Get it? You see where it all connects now? You see where these three figures, Mario, Herc, and Flash, are wherever known that they created hip hop. That's wrong. But we're supposed to say that. So that's where the wrong is right and the right is wrong. So I say, can we deal with facts? Can we just talk about facts? Can we have a discussion about facts? Fact. There were no Puerto Ricans in the creation of hip hop. There were none. There were none. Herc did not create anything to do with hip hop. Neither did Flash. They did not. But we're supposed to say that. We're supposed to say that these are the fathers. So we're wrong, but we're right. We're supposed to say that the World Trade Center was 10 buildings, 25 buildings, when the main buildings were the two. That's why it was called the Twin Towers. We're supposed to say that the Empire State Building has 500 floors. Sounds good. Sounds like it's the best building ever. When it doesn't. And that's what I'm trying to, that's the point that I'm trying to make. Is now you get penalized for telling the truth. You get penalized. Look how many people wanted to get Hassan Campbell or whatever. Look at all the people that say wanted to get because somebody say, oh, Herc ain't the father of hip hop. And that's what's happening. So what are the next generation gonna have? We're already giving them lies. And just because we fell for the lies, why would we give it to the next generation? Why we can't just say, no, hold up, the buck stops here. I'm not spreading that lie no more. I'm speaking facts, truth, facts. You think that'll happen? A lot of people always tell me, yo, phase, yeah, slowly it's going to happen or what? What? Why we got to wait? Why we can't see it? Why some people are taught that you do everything right that's in this book. Everything you do right in this book. And if you do everything right, when you die, you'll get your reward. So you say, hey, someone died and came back and told somebody that that's when you get your reward. Now, is that a fact? Is that a fact? No, it's not a fact. But it's a belief system. It's a belief system. So how does those beliefs come? Because someone told you that. Someone told you that Bambaataa, Herc, Flash were the creators. Someone told you that the Puerto Ricans brought breakdancing and all the other things that come with it and their music. And so, yeah, we go, hey, yeah. Remember what I was telling you about the accepting? Yeah, that's what happened. But then the person that goes, wait a minute, hold up. Isn't that kind of impossible? Oh, what you know, Phase? What do you mean, Phase? Yeah, you don't know? I seen the flyer. I seen this. I seen that. Oh, I know. This is what happened on this. Oh yeah. What music was Mario playing? What music was Herc playing? How was Herc scratching? How was Herc dancing? How was Herc talking on the mic? How was Herc dressing? Herc tells you himself. When he came here, he had on roach killers. So let's leave fashion out of it. let's leave fashion out of it. And you already explained to you about the Puerto Ricans. Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans, they dress similar. You ever see somebody with a psychedelic shirt on, pink pants, and white patent leather shoes? You ever saw that? That's a sight to see. It's a sight to see. But I could tell you, and this is my family, nobody in my family ever wore that combination. Ever. Like, never. I think we would have killed somebody if we came out the house like that. We really would have. We're like, what? What? Because, see, one person reps the whole family. So we would never Never put on high waters and go outside. Huh? Never. But yet and still, we know this. This is something we know. But yet and still, we say, hey, yo, they all brought something and added on. I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't gonna be on here for long, man. I just had to say that, Dwarm B gave out my Cash App and my PayPal, and I haven't checked it yet, but I want to see how that side worked. And as far as subscriptions, like I said the other day, I looked on the subscriptions, and a lot of people that be up all in my podcast, they didn't subscribe. Like, it's going to kill you to subscribe, or it's going to kill you to hit that like button or to share it. And I'm like, wow, yeah, that's how funky we get. Okay, I said peace to Mina. I said peace to China Black. I said peace to JG. I said peace to Baltimore Bully. Peace, DJ. Peace. What's good? Mark Flanagan. Crystal Clear Phase. Hi, chat. Happy birthday, Riri. DJ Biggs, what's good? He's in the building. Biggs, what's good? Mark Flanagan says, discussing what I heard about what Bam did. God will sort it out. I think it's a little bit too late for that. I think it's too late for that. That's all I can say. Phase, that's a whole other subject. That's what Mark Flanagan said, y'all. He said that's a whole other subject. Yes, and it's a subject that we have to talk about. We can't just and now, just like how you're just hearing about Bam, right? Because a lot of stuff was hidden. It wasn't talked about, right? You just made a perfect point. It wasn't talked about. So now it's being talked about, and it's like, oh my God, oh, that's disgusting. Oh, that's that. See? Jay Coop, what's good? Big up. All right. I gotta put this up. None of these other races added anything before 1990. Oh, wow. He went to the 90s. Okay. Oh, God, let's see. Let's please stop including graph into hip hop. Oh, that's something I wanted to discuss. You guys that know my other channels, we're going to discuss that, because I think that the confusion comes in, especially with me, of when I said that there was the only three things for the creation of hip hop. Okay, so one thing that I have to say is, after, we're not talking about the culture, all right? We're not talking about the culture. We're talking about what created hip hop. So in the beginning, let's go back way past the beginning. If what they say about the pyramids and the hieroglyphics that they had on the walls, that's graffiti. If you talk about carving you and your mate's name, your love, in a tree with a knife, that's graffiti. If you talk about the spades, putting the spade emblem everywhere that they went, territory, that's graffiti. So the creation of hip hop had music that went back from the beginning of time, had talking, entertainment through talking, since probably the beginning of time, and had dance since the beginning of time. So when we created hip hop, and I'm saying we, because me and my boys, I can't go no further. Nobody has ever told me anything further than me and my crew. Okay? Nobody can go farther than that. If they do, let me know. I always say, let me know. So when we created hip hop, of course, graffiti was around. We did it. Wasn't nothing like getting some spray paint from spray painting your bike and going writing your name. Wasn't nothing like it. 60s. And back in, in the 60s and everything, walls were clean. They were clean. Scratching your name on the desk in elementary school. 60s, elementary. Scratch your name on the desk. That's graffiti. So when we created this thing called hip hop, graffiti was not needed to create it. Now, the culture of it dates back to the pyramids. But it was not needed to create hip hop. And I hope that's I hope the people understand that now. I hope that maybe it was never explained that way. So I hope now that people understand that. For us, when it was introduced to hip hop, is when the flyer came out. And we all know when the flyer came out, the flyers were not typed up when they came up. They were not stenciled out. They were written in handwriting graffiti. A lot of kids back then only knew how to write in graffiti. Just like how some people don't know script and what they call cursive. A lot of people didn't know. I still have to catch myself from writing in graffiti. I'm going to some business to contract or something, and I'm writing in graffiti. Oh man, I got to start all over. So when the flyers and the jackets and the shirts and the pants started being spray painted and magic marketed, that was graffiti. When the spades first started, when they was created, they took magic marker, and wrote, that was their stripes. That was their colors. Was magic marker, graffiti. And people don't get it. Like why is that so hard to get? Like, why is that so hard to get, to understand? But like I said, remember, it's all about the add-ons. The add-ons. Not the creation, the add-ons. So that's why I say that. That's why I say about the graffiti. Okay? I'll say this. Let me put Princess up there. And Bam couldn't be the godfather if he was under my father plus other black spades. He wasn't even from Bronxtown, and he wasn't a spade in the beginning. He was another. Yes. Right. But that right there kind of shows you loyalty. And a lot of people ain't going to get what I just said right now. That shows you loyalty. Okay? And one thing that I am so proud of, me, that when I said, and I was accepted as a baby spade, black spade, I'm that for life. I'm that for life. That's the loyalty. No switching from this gang to this gang to this gang to this gang. None of that. I'm loyal for life. And that shows a lot, Princess. That shows a lot. That shows a lot. Those elders, just look at Fat Mike, God rest his soul. Fat Mike was a spade till he died. And so many others. Mario. That's loyalty. That's loyalty. So that's where you can't be wrong and right at the same time. You're either a spade or you're not. China Black. Herc already said his speakers were not Jamaican influence. He said they were on the U.S. side. Yeah. He said a lot of things. Those speakers that we're talking about were PV columns. You guys that don't know what columns are, look it up. PV columns. Okay? They're guitar and microphone speakers. It's used in a PA, public announcement speakers. That's it. So for those that say, "Oh, he had this sound system," he did, yeah. What? What was it? Ah. Frederick B. Blue. Facts. Facts. Okay, let's see what Mark Flanagan says now. Let's see. Phase, where does hip hop get cut off at? Does it get cut off before the Puerto Ricans come into play? I see that's what I'm trying to explain, Mark. Listen, you have to take off your I guess everybody added something mine ears off. You have to take it off. And you have to listen to what we're talking about. We're talking hip hop is never cut off. It's never cut off. It just keeps on going and going and going, just like the Energizer Bunny. Okay? What we're talking about is the creation of hip hop. We're talking about the creation of hip hop. We're not talking about the add-ons. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about what happened to Beat Street and Wild Style and all of that, Crush Groove and all that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the creation. The creation of hip hop. So hip hop keeps on going. It's not when the Puerto Ricans came and cut off hip hop. No, it's not that. When the Puerto Ricans came, hip hop kept on going. So I think that's where you get lost at, because you think that I'm saying, no, when before the Puerto Ricans it was this, and then that's not what I'm saying, that it was cut off, that there's no more hip hop after the Puerto Ricans. That's not what I'm saying. And not only that, which I had to say and discuss, even though I didn't want to because it's in my book, but you guys got to understand the difference between hip hop music and hip hop culture. You guys got it. You got it all twisted up. You got it twisted up. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's not. It's hip hop music. You have hip hop music, you have R&B music, you have jazz music, you have rock music, you have soul, you have classic, you have country, you have all punk rock, you have all of these different genres of music. But our culture is what came before us. It was laid down before we were here. Our culture was laid down. You know, I can tell you this. I can tell you this. Back early days, 60s, 70s, even a little bit of the 80s, when our beautiful women wore their hair in cornrows. People would say, Oh, that's jungle stuff. That's just horrible. Take it out. Just wear your hair down straight. Don't wear that. Don't come to the job like that. That's hoodlum stuff. That's hood stuff. Don't wear that. People said you're dark. Oh, you're dark. You're ugly. You're dark. When you're dark and you're just dark and you're gruesome and you're evil and all of that because you're dark. What do they start doing? Paying for tans. Paying for tans. Oh, women's hair looks like they're paying to get their hair done like that. Oh, look at their butts. Oh, why are their butts like that? Oh, what a paying. Titties, paying. Lips, paying. I could even say we had dreads before the Jamaicans. I can say it because I know about us that didn't comb their hair. That's it. Their hair grow long and it mat up. So what I'm trying to get, the point that I'm trying to get to is every single thing we do is looked at terrible until we keep doing it and other people love it and like it. And then what happens? You know what happens. Same with hip hop. When we first created hip hop, even some of our parents, our people, were saying that's the stupidest thing in the world. How you gonna play 4 seconds of a song? How much you pay for that record? And you only pay 2, 4, or 5 seconds of the record. That's the stupidest thing. How you gonna get on the floor and do some karate moves? How you gonna get on the mic and not sing a song? Just talk on the mic. That's so stupid. That's so stupid. How many people said that? How many people? Wake up, people. Y'all gotta wake up, man. What's up, Paul Roberts? Sly Stone played at Woodstock in 1969 to 500,000 people. We have sound systems in the United States. Of course, Paul. Of course. Of course. So, but, Paul, what is the say, though? What is the say? What is the saying? Oh, Hurt brought the sound system. Oh, from Jamaica. Oh. And then when somebody tells the truth, yo, I hate Phase. I hate him. I hate him. Oh, Phase is a liar. He's a liar. He don't know what he's talking about. He's a liar. I read that Herc was the father, and so Phase don't know what he's talking about. I didn't see Phase on the flyer, so he don't know it. Oh gosh, darn it. Okay, Bren, I didn't see you in there. What's up, Bren? Brenda West. Okay, music is an expression of the environment, art, color, style, and words painted on walls and streets that are already there. It's like the rapper, dancer, fashion set to the music that is already there. Yes, you're correct on that. You're correct on that. But each creator creates a way that it's presented. You see what I'm saying? So, just like jazz, those notes were there. It could even have been a song that was there. But the creator of jazz played it the way that he created. You get it? So you're right. Yes, things have been there all the time. But the creators created to the way that they created. So that's a perfect example. Yes, our expression was we like that funky break. We love that drum. We love that drum. We love snapping on people. We love talking about people. We love dancing to that drum and hearing people snapping on people. We love that. We love to dress like this. And maybe somebody else couldn't dress like that. Or they didn't know to dress like that. They didn't know to dress like that. Yeah, the sneakers was there, but y'all didn't rock the sneakers like this. Y'all didn't put the sneakers with that. Y'all didn't take British Walkers and the mock neck and the AJs and put them together and rock out with the gold medallion. Y'all didn't take the Playboys and the socks and the AJs and with the V in the back and the suede pocket. You know, you ain't do it like that. So we did it like that. So we created that style. You see what you see what I'm talking about now? You understand what I'm talking about? So yes, these things were in existence, but it's how you create it together. You put it together. And that's what it is. That's what it's all about. So all of these people that says, "Oh, they've been doing this, they've been doing that." Go listen to when they say they were rapping, the brothers, the brothers that were saying it. Even Pink Meek Markham, right? Listen to the music that they were doing it to. The people that was dancing, and they say it was breakdancing, looked like it was breakdancing, doing those moves and stuff, helicopter and stuff like that. Look at the music they were doing it to. All right? And tell me if it's not different. Tell me if that's not different. Tell me. And you'll see, oh, snap, FaZe is telling the truth. The music is different. It's different. And look how they dressed. Look what they were saying. Look what they were talking about. Look what we started talking about. Look how we put that together with just the drum beat. No instruments, no bass line, no lead guitar, no horns, no nothing. Just the bass drum, the snare, the hi-hat, and sometimes the crash cymbal. And then once we started getting even more better, we added some tom-toms. And then when we got a little bit more, we added some percussion. So it went in steps. It went in steps. I'll give it out a little bit too much jewels. Too much jewels. Too much jewels. Too much jewels. Gotta slow down. Gotta slow down. Akeem, what's good? Okay. Oh wow, peace. P water. DJ Faze, thank you for continuing to fight peace and blessings. Yes. Salute, salute, salute. I'm going to keep on. I'm going to keep on. But I'm going to tell you, P. Water, when you guys don't see me and I'm not coming on, it's not that I don't have nothing to say and nothing to teach or nothing to show. It's not that. But just like tonight, with Dwan B on one channel and me on this other channel, people have learned stuff that they never knew before. You pay to go to college, right? Those people, they get the money when you go to college, right? So what makes me any different? If I had super chat and all that and members only, then y'all couldn't even comment or say anything without being a member or without giving some money out. So I don't have that. I'm not monetized. And y'all still not saying, oh my God, your face, thank you, thank you. Thank you, man. Here's a couple of 1 and 2. I don't got much, but here's something. And that's why, P. Water, I be missing. I get like, yo, I got a lot I could do. A lot. But I love you guys. And I don't want you to be led the wrong. I don't want you to be wrong and right at the same time. I don't want you guys to be that. And that, my friend, is real. See, because I'm going to keep it 100. There was a lot of people in my career that thought if they taught me something, that I would pass them. So they didn't want to teach me. I had to learn for myself. They didn't want to say, Mario was the only one, and I'm going to just keep it 100. I've been with a lot of people I know, studios and all that stuff. Mario was the only one that says, yo, man, listen, this is how you do this. And this is what you think. This is how you think. This is what you want to do. This is what you want the crowd to do. This is what he taught me that. That's why I'm forever gonna rap Mario. Forever. Because he taught me that. And like my senseis and the gangsters, God bless his soul, Black Willie, Black Jerry. These people were like, Booby, come on, man, you could do this. This is what you could do. Here, Booby, you don't want no silver medallion here. You're going to get a gold one. You're going to have different color British Walkers. I had two-tone British Walkers when they ain't have no two-tone British Walkers. And that's how I know people don't even know what they talking about. Two-tone British Walkers came after. Even the guys that always talk about, oh, they did this or whatever, they don't even know that. Two tones came after, just like two-tone overlaps came after. Broken stitch AJs came first, then the solid stitch. People still don't get what I'm talking about. They still don't get it, but don't understand why and how we created hip-hop. Right now, to this day, a lot of people don't understand exactly what I'm talking about. But they just like, okay, well, whatever, yeah. But they don't know, but they don't understand how we created hip-hop. Okay. Herc rarely goes to Jamaica. They interviewed him and saw he was full of He's not from Trenchtown. Also, in 1967, people weren't toasting lyrics over beats like Shabba Ranks. That was the 80s. Yeah, 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 yep. Um, I say this. I say, here we go, Mark. Please listen, man. I never said PR created hip hop. No, you never said that. But I'll go back to your comment where you said that they all added something, right? And we were talking about the creation of hip hop, right? And we were talking about Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans, right? They didn't add anything to the creation of hip hop. Nothing. They didn't create it and they didn't add nothing. So you said added. They did not, Mark. And it's that type of thinking that got this whole thing messed up. That's the type of thinking that got things all messed up. That's it. They are also calling people pioneers that are older, but not old enough to bear witness to the very beginning, because some were not around or not even born yet. Now, I'm going to tell you this, and I could testify to this, Princess. Other than your father, when we were doing this, when we were creating it, the older people, they were our worst critics. They were our worst critics, was the older people. So for the old, I remember I was on, I forget whose channel it was. I can't know, I ain't even gonna lie, but it was a big popular channel. And this old school cat, he was a little bit older than me, he got on. And I let him talk and let him talk and let him talk. And then I asked him some things. And he couldn't tell me. Now, if you was there and you should have been, the answer should have came like this. Just like if he asked me, everything he asked me, I answered just like that. I was there. I know. I seen. I know. I was part of. I did. And I was asking these. So he got so mad and said, I'm not doing this no more. He said, I'm not doing this no more. And he just got off. He left. He said, I'm not doing this no more. Because even the people was asking, they were like saying, yo, well, answer Faith's question, or is that true? Is that whatever? And he couldn't answer them. And so and he's much older than me. He might have been even 10 years older than me, maybe. And he was saying all of this stuff that was just not true. And it didn't add up. And so he got mad. He was like, I'm out of here. Like, I don't got time for this. I don't got time for that. And that's usually what happens. Oh, God. Hey, what's good? I haven't seen you. Avengers, the Ancestors. What's up, Brother Faze and Room? All right, that's what's up. Okay, I see, and anyone ever notice Bambaataa couldn't pronounce the word Bronx? What the hell is Bronx? See, Paul, that's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. If anybody does a snap, I'm gonna laugh because if it's funny to me, I'm gonna laugh. And I get in trouble for that. Because like why your face? Why you laughing at that? But it's funny. It's funny. He said, "Bro, bro, oh God, you guys gotta laugh. You gotta laugh. Pull in with that one. That was a good one. That was a good one. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Okay. I see nobody is. Oh, Gregory Richardson. Um. Oh, I'm not even gonna put that up because that's just nothing. Yeah, let's look at China Black again. What's wild is people saying hip hop was brought here by Herc, yet not one person in Jamaica was doing anything like it, and it took Herc 6 years to show it to us. Well, let's go with fashion. Let's go with fashion. Fashion is definitely a part of hip hop. I can even say that if you took out the fashion of hip hop, you lose a lot. You lose a lot. But if you took out the graffiti in hip hop, you can still do the party and do have a good thing. But if you having a party and everybody's dressed just tacky, messed up, or whatever, that's gonna be a whack party. So I don't care what they playing, what they doing. It's gonna be whack. If you can't go to this party and show off, it's a whack party. Simple. So Herc brought the most terrible fashion for a long time from Jamaica. Okay? From Jamaica. Nobody in hip hop was dressing like her. Nobody knows. Nobody. So we gonna keep it like that. We gonna keep it like that. Okay. So right, he got it now. Okay. Now see, Mark. Now see, Mark. You learned something. You cannot say that you didn't learn something, Mark. You from this podcast, you're gonna go and know adding on is after the creation. You know that now. See? And if you didn't watch this, you would be saying what you were saying and didn't know. So, people, do you see this? Do you see what I'm talking about? So, Mark Flanagan learned something. Now, Mark, isn't that worth a couple of dollars? Ain't that worth a couple of dollars? You learned something. If you go to college, you got to pay that tuition, right? Because you go to college to learn. And so it's evident that you just learned something on my podcast. But is it worth a couple of dollars? A little couple of ones and twos? Think about it. Think about it. And that's all I'm saying. You guys can't see that y'all don't see constantly. We appreciate your donation. Face Tracks, Cash App, Bumbeats, Hotmail.com, PayPal. Y'all can't say y'all don't see that the whole time I'm talking. Most High, what's up? What's going on? Okay. Okay. Uh, JG says, me and my uncle was having a discussion. He said hip hop started in Jamaica. I stopped and gave him my microphone check DVD. Oh God. Hey, so did you get the you got the DVD? Oh my goodness, yeah, man. I was just, somebody the other day called me because they got the DVD. This, by the way, is still selling, and that's what I was going to say. I said before, but anyway, and they called me and they said, "Yo, Faze, man, yo, thank you, man." Thank you for being on microphone check, and thank you for keeping it real and keeping it going. Thank you. And I said, my pleasure, because it is my pleasure. Okay. Uh, her definitely isn't fluent in patois. I'll bet my life on that. Oh my goodness, you guys. Okay. Hey, Roger Pace says Puerto Ricans and Mexicans didn't add anything to hip hop, period. Okay, listen. This is what I want to ask you guys. Everybody that's here today, right? Everyone that's here today, are you subscribed to my channel? Do you put the notifications? Do you share? Everybody that's here today, there shouldn't be no one that's here today that's not subscribed to my channel. It shouldn't be. It really shouldn't. And like I said, it doesn't take nothing to hit that like. Now, what I notice is that when I finish with this here, these comments are not going to be on YouTube. They're not. So you have to make comments after I'm on this as well. Not saying to wait until after, but as well. And that's what it accumulates. Because, I could be talking for hours and, I see millions of comments, all the comments and everything. And then I cut it off and then I go back and look at it and it got one comment, two comments. So yes, people, we have to give account and realize what's going on. And also what you got to understand is that if we don't do these shows and we don't comment and we don't do that, we gonna lose. We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose what we have, this great thing called hip hop. We're gonna lose it. And I'm sure every last one of us in here don't want to lose hip hop. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Okay? So that's what we're doing. All right? Um Wow, y'all I must say, y'all are coming up. Y'all are doing your thing. Okay. I see this is what maybe Mark, you have been putting these comments after or I mean before I say something. But what are you confused about wrong and right? What are you confused? Let's give it to Mark right now. What are you confused about? Are you confused of how somebody could be wrong and right? Yeah, yeah. I don't know what you accept your term, what you accept as your color or whatever. But are you black? Answer that question. Are you black? Are you white? Answer the question. Because I guarantee you're not going to say you're pink. I guarantee it. Simple. And you daggone damn sure ain't going to say you black. This is a fact. Everybody can get mad all they want to. This is a fact. You're not going to say you're black, and you're not going to say you're pink. And that's a fact. So, wrong and right. So I hope you're not confused anymore. Hey, okay. Let me see. Rap hip Gold Star 9753. Rap hip hop was FBA. Everybody else did what the FBA was doing. Only FBA music was being mixed and sampled. No other music had break beats. Well, it's it. How can I explain it? How can I explain it? So, you guys know how I feel about James Brown. Was his music hip hop or was it funk? That's a question. Was James Brown's music hip hop or funk? My answer, you have to read in my book. But that's just a question for you guys. Was James Brown's music hip hop or funk? I'll leave that. Okay. I'm going to hear all kinds of stuff behind that. Excuse me. Behind that. Okay. Look, I'm yawning. It's time for me to go. Yes, Gold Star. They trying to rewrite history. So when did Bam start that gay shit stuff? He was lying. I know the family well. Spanish Ricans claim. Okay. All right, people. So listen, please. I don't want to go to the Cash App and the PayPal and see it not do anything. I don't want to do that. I don't. And it's a shame that I have to even say that. It's a shame. I don't want to call people out. But there are some people that do say, hey, FaZe, yo, man, listen, I love what you're doing. Here. It's not much, but here. People that do that. So, for me, I feel like it's my responsibility to tell the truth. So I'm just, man, okay, okay. Okay. I didn't see this guy, Hebrew Thug. Black teens were the first to create tagging, your nicknames on the walls in the ghettos and trains. The white man noticed what we were doing and renamed it our art graffiti. Yeah, 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 yeah. And that's my point exactly. They name something and they do something, and what we say is no good. But what they say sticks. And it's the written in stone. And that's a perfect example. That's a perfect example. What they say is written in stone. So if they say we're black, forget what I say. Forget what anybody else say. If they say we black, we black. If they say they white, they white. If they say who Kool Herc and Flash and Bambaataa created hip hop, Kool Herc, Flash, Bambaataa created hip hop. And that's facts. How long is it going to take us as a people to realize this? Everybody talks a good game. Everybody talks a good game. But when are we going to realize this? And how come when I realize it and I say something, it's, oh, no, we don't want to talk about that. No, nah, that ain't, nah, that ain't what this is about. Just stick to hip hop. Just stick to something you know. Like, I don't know that. Okay. 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 Hey, we got to keep up. I was just watching you on Dwan B. Oh, that's what's up. Great interview. Okay, cool. Cool, cool. Cool. Okay, everybody, listen. I know I keep on saying I'm going to go. I got to go. But I got to go. I got to go. So, I was going to come on Friday. Yeah, I was going to come on Friday. But y'all already know. Y'all already know. If I don't come on Friday, you know why. Peace and blessings to everybody. Peace and blessings. And we'll see if I'm going to be here on Friday.